Welcome, my fabulous and fantastic friends, to another lesson about circles. You remember all those fantastic parts of the circle? Well, I want to take you through some relationships that we might be able to see between a circle and a nice line. Look at that. And you might have saw that end there, but believe me, it now infinitely extends that way, and it is also infinitely extending this way, right through my stomach, which hurts a little bit. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about this relationship. You see the line, you see the circle, and, well, there's space between them. When they're in this state, we would say that the line is external to the circle. External comes from a word that means outside. You hear that X in there, like exoskeleton. Exo. Well, let's move that line a little closer. A little closer. I'm going to move the circle a little closer too. Yeah, a little bit closer. A little closer. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right there. Do you see what's happening there? The circle and the line are touching at one point, and we say that this line is tangent to the circle. Tangent comes from the Latin word tangere. Try that. It means to touch. This is another type of relationship a line and circle can have with each other. Wouldn't you like to see another one? Of course you would. I'm going to move this line until, boop, it's inside the circle. How strange. Now the line is secant to the circle. Secant comes from the Latin word secare, which means to cut. You might remember that when we talked about line segments. It's crossing the circle in 2 points across the circumference, and it's cutting it into parts. Ow. It's pretty cool though, right? So let's think a little bit more about this with a different circle. How about that one? You know what's really cool about this circle? It has a center point on it. And yeah, I know it's smaller, but you know, the size doesn't matter so much. It has that. And that's super cool because now we know where the center point is. So we can talk about some other extra special relationships. For example, if this line is external to the circle, we could say that the distance to this line from the center of the circle is greater than the radius. You remember that radius, right? From the center to 1 point on the circumference. But what if our line is tangent? Well then, wouldn't the distance from the center point be exactly the radius? It's true. Now if I place this line inside the circle, it's now secant. And what do you think about that distance compared to the last 2 relationships? That's right, it's smaller than the radius. And the more we move it, the more it's going to change. How fantastic! Lines and circles. Why don't you go find some circles and lines and see if you can create some relationships and draw some really cool charts. You can decorate them too. Oh, and there's some other relationships that we can look at. Go check those out. Circles and circles, what do we do with those?